Good day, grade 12s, and welcome to today's video. This is going to be my last one for the PET of 2022. Obviously, this is from the Department of Education. This is not the IEB one. And I'm going to be looking at phase 3. Now, we already know, all of these things in terms of our topic, and that you've plowed through everything you needed to within phase 1 and 2. And so far, you should have a phase 1 folder with your sources folder, your phase 1 working document. For phase 2, you would have done your questionnaire. You would have made the changes to your phase 1 working document. You should have done a database, a spreadsheet as well, and shown your completed questionnaires. Now, that's going to be important because of what we need to do in phase 3. They want us now to interpret that data and information, combine it and remix it to show your own understanding. Okay, so when they say things like that, it means they would like you to interpret things in your own words. So to take what you've gathered so far and process that into your own words. Complete the report by using good word processing principles and techniques. Okay, making everything legible, looking professional, etc. And then create a website as well. So it's a report and a website for phase 3. Now let's see what this comprises of. You'll need to continue working on the report that you created in phases 1 and 2. Now remember, in phase 1, we created our working document. Then we had to copy that and paste that into our phase 2 folder and make the necessary changes. Now we need to take the phase 2 document. Here they tell us, copy the report from phase 2 to the relevant phase 3 folder, and we need to then make the necessary changes. Okay, so you're taking that same document, pasting it into your phase 3 folder, and then we're going to make the changes from there. Your report as a guide should consist of around 1,600 to 2,000 words in terms of content only. Okay, it's got nothing to do with your cover page, table of contents. No, content only. Your report needs to be around about 6 to 8 pages long, just as a guide, and you should have a cover page, introduction, which would previously have been your task definition. Okay, so you're just going to reword it a little bit so that it qualifies as an introduction. Your discussion and analysis, the findings and a conclusion, and then any appendices that you need. Okay, so let's have a look here. So I mentioned to copy the report. That's fine. The appendices, right? When it comes to referencing, using the information in phase 1, add an automatically generated reference list or bibliography. Okay, and you should already have that. All the info you need should be found in the summary documents you created. Okay, so that's fine. Graphics from any sources must be acknowledged clearly. Okay, so people, your table of figures, that's why they're talking about captions, tables of figures here. Please make sure that everything is referenced and you are using the Harvard or APA referencing style that you'll find in Word. And here's exactly what I mentioned earlier. Your report must be written in your own words, except where information has been correctly cited. Okay? Plagiarism is unacceptable. You need to be original and creative. So please make sure you run your documents through a plagiarism checker online to make sure that your document is okay. All right. Be honest about it. Complete the cover page. So please, on your cover page, this is now for your report in phase 3. So if I can just give you a bad example. This one was a bad example, but there you go. You'll see you've got your cover page. And what did they want? Name and surname, name of your school, subject name, and pet topic. Okay, so that's all there. Then you need a meaningful abstract, and here they tell you that the abstract is a brief summary, 3 to 4 lines, of the contents of the report. So you're putting that over here in your cover page, right? Then from there, you need to have an automatic table of contents and table of figures. So this one's got a table of contents, no table of figures, but that should be the next page. Then you should have your introduction. So here where you had your task definition for the first phase, and it was the same document in the second phase, you need to just change that heading to introduction and just reword this so that it does sound like an introduction. You need to give a clear focus and overview of the problem. State, how you are going to be investigating this. All those things. And yeah, they tell you, consider your task definition and focus question when compiling this. So you are basically taking the two, your focus question and your task definition, and you are amalgamating them. You are using the concatenate to bring them together and just rewording that. Okay. Now, this individual has nothing else besides the research questions, which you can leave in, and that's fine. But obviously the bibliography goes to the end. You'll have to have a conclusion at the end as well. But in between, what they've missed out here is the fact that they need to have this discussion and analysis. In other words, what have you found out? Remember, we did the database. We did the spreadsheet. Okay? You need to bring that, that information in. Formulate your findings. You need to formulate at least 3 appropriate claims. So, for example, you could say something like this, and again, this is just a bad example, but it's just to illustrate my point. You could say that it was interesting to find that when you ran your survey or your questionnaire regarding online collaboration in this particular instance, that it was interesting to note that most of the people who completed this were females. And then you can take a screenshot of your chart, if it was based on that, and then pop it into your document. Okay? And in that way, you've provided an argument, you've provided proof as well. Obviously, you're going to need a little more information than that, but that's generally what you need to do. So you need 3 of those appropriate claims. These claims and arguments must be answers to the focus question, supported by the appropriate data, which I just said, have a meaningful explanation, and draw from the information presented in the report and address the original problem. So people, please read through this stuff when you are formulating this last report. Okay? Please. Your conclusion must be meaningful and logical and address the original problem. Okay? The conclusion should not contain any new information. Okay, so please just bear that in mind. And I think that sorts out the report. You should be okay with that. If you have any questions, just pop it in the comments, and I'll see when and how I can help you. Okay, then we have our website. Now, here they tell us that the website, and I'm going to again give you a bad example. I'm going to go over here. So here's a website, and yes, it's got color. Yes, it's got a horizontal line, some paragraphs, some headings. It's got a title there, but let's see if it actually matches up to what we need. Okay. Yeah. So your website must have 2 pages. Okay. Sorry, at least 2 other web pages. In other words, you will have your main web page, and then you must have links to 2 others. So in total, you would have 3 web pages. I hope you're with me. You need 3 web pages, your main one, and then links to others. So the second web page can maybe just be, it can be maybe some extra info on a particular topic. It could be the other web page could be one where you are linking to your graphs. Okay, just to show people, click here to see the graphs of the, substantiating info, etc. So you can do that. The website should have a title. Let me just check it according to this one. There's a title, an introduction. Okay, it's not great, but it's got one. A functional navigation system, meaning that I can scroll through it. I can click on a link here. Everything that I need to move around through and everything that I need to click on is there, and it works. Okay, that's what they mean by a functional navigation system. Good quality information about the topic. So obviously the info here needs to be on the topic itself. Graphics or images, not this please, not broken links to images. Don't do that. Okay, sort it out. And then hyperlinks to other good quality information. So you might have links to other sites. You might have links to other information that relates to this topic. You can put that in there, and that should be fine. Ensure that your website is well laid out. Now, yes, this one is not too bad. This picture should have been small, but again, the text size is a bit too small. They haven't really spaced everything out correctly, but yeah, it's okay. Okay. Different elements or parts of the page must be clearly distinguishable. Now, in this case, it is. You've got those horizontal lines separating things. You can use your paragraph tags as well, and you should be using them. Graphics should be relevant to the topic. Okay, that's fine. Use standard English. Make sure there's no spelling and grammar mistakes. And acknowledge any information used from other sources. Okay, so please do check that. Now, let's have a look at the last two items. So the hand-in is going to be a word processing report and your website. You will also need to complete and hand in the final declaration, which is Appendix C. So the last thing I want to check is just the rubric in terms of phase 3. Let's have a look here. Okay, so there with your report. You'll get your marks if you've got a cover page, content control, for that abstract, name and surname, meaningful abstract, you'll get your 4 marks. If your technical aspects, things like heading styles, different types of headings, things like that, if you've got all of that and it's done properly, boom, you'll get your 4 marks. Next one, consistent formatting. That means that you're not changing the font size and type of every little thing, right? It's just the body is distinguishable from the headings. All body text is left aligned or justified, and you've got appropriate spacing. You'll get another 4 marks. Do you see? Just for having that professional layout, you can easily get 10 to 12 marks over there. Automatic page numbering, heading and footers, page breaks, section breaks, right? If you put those things in, people, you're getting marks for all of that. Hyperlinks, bookmarks, cross references. You don't have to use all 3, but at least one of them, and a hyperlink to external data. So you could have a hyperlink that takes you from your spreadsheet to your database. Okay. In your report, readable. So you need to have a font size of 10 to 12, no more than 2 fonts, appropriate word spacing, and no spelling and grammar mistakes. Boom, another 4 marks. All right. You want to make sure everything is referenced correctly. That's another 4 marks. Then for having the bibliography, the table of figures, the table of contents, those things with any appendices, you'll get another 4 marks. For your introduction, another 4 marks. Okay. All you've got to do is really just read through this. Then, when it comes to your discussion, right, information used from phase 1 and 2, which is relevant to the investigation. If you're using some of that, you're going to get marks there as well. For providing those 3 arguments and finding with the support information, like I mentioned earlier, you'll be getting those 4 marks. So can you see how many marks are actually up for grabs? In fact, look at this. Just for having a conclusion, you'll get 4 marks. Obviously, it's got to be a decent conclusion. So as long as it's relevant, meaningful, it's there, and it's drawn from the information presented in the report, you'll get the 4 marks, and that's going to give you 48 marks, people. 48 marks. And the bulk of that is just for having your professional layout. So, yeah, I don't even have to say anything there. All right, with your website, just for you having your 3 web pages. Just for you having that, and that it all opens correctly with a title, boom, 4 marks. Okay? If your website has a good layout, the related info is grouped together. You have different elements or parts. You've got labels, paragraphs. So even this bad website, right? This guy's going to get 4 marks. Well, he'll get 2 marks because he doesn't have the other 2 websites. He'll get 4 marks for this. Graphics are relevant, no broken images, so he has got that. And you need to use the alt tag for your images as well. You'll get those 3 marks. Navigation, are they working hyperlinks? Are the hyperlinks meaningful? Do they have a meaningful description? Is the navigation system consistently placed through the website? Yes, so you'll get 2 out of the 3 marks over here. Information from the report included demonstrates a good understanding and good language used. If that's the case, you'll get those marks. no copying from other sites, everything acknowledged and referenced correctly, you'll get your 3 marks. And if you've done anything extra, there's a potential 2 marks up for grabs, and that's how you get your 22 marks. So I'm going to say this very, very nicely. Even a website like this that's only 1 page, the learner will probably still get, in the region of 8 to 9 marks for that. But obviously, the more you do, the more marks you can get, and that should give you, I think, your total of like 70 marks. Then for having everything, there's an extra 4 marks. So if you everything are in the relevant folders for phase 3, proper names, everything, another 4 marks, and that gives you a total of 74 marks for this phase. Guys, it's a lot of marks up for grabs, but I hope now you have a clear understanding of what you need to do for phase 3. Get it done. Good luck, and I know that you're going to get the marks that you deserve.